I'll tell you what, let me do that all again. Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Thank you, Gary, for reminding me to turn on the microphone. And Ruth for telling me to turn on the sound. Yeah, I was beavering away in the background. I do apologise. Yes. Good morning to Gary Muirhead, to my wife Ruth, to Glenn Johnston, anybody else that's tuned in at the moment that hasn't actually said hello. Good morning. How the devil are you doing? I hope you're all fitting well. This is not our question of the day. That bit comes a bit later, but I do have a question. Are you a member of a construction trade association or organisation? The reason I ask is that many of these organisations seem to be kind of crumbling at the top. Anybody else notice that? The CEO of the Construction Plant Hire Association lasted just 6 months before throwing in the towel back in December. The Construction Equipment Association is currently without a CEO after the sudden departure of the previous incumbent, although Rob Oliver was always going to be a tough act to follow. Bill Hill steps down as the head of the Lighthouse Club this week. And of course, former NFDC CEO Howard Button left the Federation's Resurgam House headquarters at the end of last year as well. So my question is, are these jobs too demanding? Are trade associations appointing high-profile people with no real passion for the industry? Or are trade associations just falling out of fashion now? Let's face it, we don't really need a highly paid executive to organise an industry meeting. We can all do that ourselves, online, free of charge. Many of these trade associations and trade bodies seem to have demonstrated a nasty habit of falling silent when their bit of the industry comes under threat as well. And they're all very, very insular, operating in their little silos with their little ideas and their little friends. Are we seeing the beginning of the end for trade associations? Now, I have written about this in a special one-off column this morning, dropped first thing this morning. If you're part of our WhatsApp group, you don't need to go and search for it because you've probably already seen it. But if you're not and you haven't, you can read the article. I can fire that up when I press the right button. You should be seeing that in the chat right now. The article is called Strange Days Indeed. I stole it from John Lennon. If you're going to steal lyrics, steal from John Lennon is always my motto. Please give it a read. Let us have your thoughts. Please let me have your feedback on that. Now, without further ado, I'm going to roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road just as soon as I can get to the right part of my system. Here we go. Apologies if you're just tuning in over on Instagram. I don't know quite what happened there. I pressed the go live button and didn't go live, but I am live now. I can see me over there. Good morning to our friend Mick Norton as well, who has just joined us. It is, what is it? It is Thursday, the 28th of March. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony, the walrus of demolition, apparently. In today's show, the slowest car chase in history as a disgruntled worker makes a break for it in a wheel loader. Bobcat goes rogue again. The midnight hour is upon us, thanks to New Holland Construction, and let's make some noise for Case and the Sound of Silence. Plus, we've got a double whammy of Intermat previews. One good, the other one not so much. But before we get to all of that, we do have the small matter of today's mystery machine to decipher. So, break out the glasses, get nice and close to your screen, because I need you to identify... no, I have to play an animation, don't I? There we go. Yes, as I was saying, here is the machine you need to identify. Before I rudely interrupted myself, this is what you've got to work with. There you go. There's a bit of a boom there, a bit of hydraulics. If that's enough for you, then, well, frankly, you're an anorak. But congratulations if you can get it from that. I need a make and a model for that machine. That there machine. If anybody's got any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear from you. Jim Turner has just joined us. Morning, Jim. I'm going to press your button forthwith. There you are. You should be seeing my good morning message in the chat right about now. If anybody's got any clues on that machine, we will be coming back to it, obviously, as the show goes along. But if you're while you're trying to figure that out, let's go back to our question of the day, which I've already posted. But here's a very quick reminder. I'll tell you more about the question of the day in just a second, but Jay Walters over on Instagram has just guessed that our mystery machine is a Volvo. It isn't. It's a good guess, but it isn't. It is not a Volvo. I guess that whittles it down just a little bit. But thank you for joining us, Jay Walters. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. We'll come back to the mystery machine in just a moment. But our question of the day is, I'd like you to describe yourself in just 3 words. I realise that's fairly limited, but 3 words. The rules, however, are pretty loose. You can describe your appearance, your manner, your mood. Just remember, you have just 3 words. 3 words. I'm going with bearded, balding, and bothered. The bothered has a question mark. But what about you? Let us know in the chat. And our friend Jay Walters over on Instagram is watching from Cambridge. I'm assuming that's the Cambridge here in the UK and not the Cambridge in Massachusetts. I might be wrong. I might be assuming far too much, but let us know. But if you have any thoughts on our question of the day, please describe yourself in just 3 words. And I tell you what, we normally save these for the end, but our friend Wolf Welder from over in the US of A says, question of the day, weld, eat, sleep. There's probably a repeat that goes on the end of that as well, but I did only give you 3 words. Mark Whiting has just joined us, and so has Footy. I will press your respective buttons in just a moment, gentlemen. But we do... Yeah, Footy, that's more than 3 words you've used there. I can't use that, but I will come back to that in just a moment. I tell you what, while we're about it, let's give you a little bit more... Jim Turner may actually be sharing my 3 words here. There you are. Fat beardy bastard. Could be me. Jay Walters is actually in the UK. He's from Nottingham, but he's working down in Cambridge. Good to have you with us. Hope you enjoy the show. I'm going to give you a bit more. There you are. There's another bit. So you've got a bit of boom stroke dipper and you've got a bit of track. Can anybody identify our mystery machine from all of that? Now, I haven't read all of this, but let me get rid of this for a second. Footy has just said, also just to let you know, I've got a job, starts Tuesday. It's 64 miles one way, and the agency was meant to go out, wanted to give me £20. Another agency came, same job, £23 as well. They've offered me a year's work if I can stick it out. So we normally save this for people that are new on the show. So I'm going to double this one up. This is for Footy for getting a new job. And this is also for Jay Walters for joining us over on Instagram. And speaking of Instagram, good morning to Tristan Mays. I'll come back to him in just a second. But let me take this off the screen for a moment. And let me go back to here. Jay Walters, thank you for joining us. Footy, congratulations on the new job. There you are. That's your own very special confetti. Congratulations to one and welcome to the other. Now, I did mention that Tristan Mays is over on Instagram, and he has said that our mystery machine is definitely a Liebherr. I hate to admit it because, you know, he is a crane man, and we all know what we think about crane people, but he's right. He's absolutely right. So what we need next is a model. We need a specific model, but it is most definitely a Liebherr machine. Let's have a look. We've had some guesses. I can tell you that Jim Turner has gone with a 6-ton JCB. It is not. Gary Muirhead has gone for an R954C Litronic Liebherr. It is not. It is not that. yeah, I mean, you're in the right ballpark, but it is not. And there's Jim Turner also offering his congratulations to our friend Footy, who has got a new job starting Tuesday. So you get to eat lots and lots of chocolate over the weekend and then go and work it all off come Tuesday. Congratulations, my friend. Great to have you back in the workforce. I will show you more of that mystery machine in just a moment, but we do need to crack on. So let's do this first, shall we? I think we've all heard of disgruntled former employees running amok with construction equipment. Over on YouTube, you'll find plenty of videos of excavator operators smashing up the boss's car or, in one instance, wrecking the foyer of a newly built hotel. But it's rare for these events to be captured live and up close. But this one was.
Okay, it's not like a tractor?
Yeah.
Okay. Any idea what he's doing?
No idea. No, we have no idea.
Stop. 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 Hey! Stop! I'm PTA radio. An individual who's driving a four-wheeler tractor is not stopping for me. I have no way of stopping this vehicle. He's going to go out on the main road.
Watch your dick, he's ready.
I can't control him.
Grab your machine. What is it? One of those things? How fast is it?
They can get up to probably about 30.
Okay, grab that. Quick.
Making a left. Keep me updated. I've got the sanitation truck, the large tractor, which is our best bet. It's a little bit slower, but he's behind us as well. But
Hey, radio, we're in front of Victory World Church on Brook Hollow.
Let's go kill a best friend.
Going in 10-3 for the vehicle, Corley, center and Oprah.
10-3. Front hole, Brook Drive.
This is unbelievable.
It's wrong.
Keep him up! Hey! Flip it! If you can flip it, flip it!
All units 1039. 1039 at 1207.
You what?
180.
Yeah, that's definitely just circle to have your operator.
Hey, let's get him up since this thing's laying on its side. Kick your legs.
No idea what that bit's all about. Yeah. So that happened. I guess that puts the police in a bit of a conundrum. Obviously, wheel loader, not particularly quick, so catching it, not a major issue, but stopping it, yeah, that's quite another matter, as I think they proved very, very well there. We've had some comments on that, not surprisingly. Let's have a look. I do want to do this one very quickly. Jim Turner has just said, welcome to Jay Walters over on Instagram from another Nottinghamshire lad. Yes, welcome indeed. Jim Turner also offers this piece of advice. Just shoot him. Have to say, I do think the police showed remarkable restraint there, bearing in mind, A, this was America, and B, the guy was on a highway. I would imagine there was some temptation to put a bullet between his eyes. It's just like the guy who went on a rampage with a dozer in Amy. Yeah, drop him where he sits, says Jim Turner, filled this morning with empathy. Chris Fall, good morning, boys and girls. No sex discrimination here. Glad to hear. Sam Hook 654 over on Instagram says, shoot the tires out. I wonder how easy it would be to shoot the tires out of a wheel loader. I mean, it's not like shooting the tires out of a conventional car, I would imagine. But yes, yeah, interesting stuff. And what do you do? I mean, I don't know quite what the guy's problem was. Was he disgruntled? Was he off his proverbial tits on drugs? I honestly don't know the answer to that, but yeah, interesting one. I only ran that, but if you remember rightly, a few months ago, we did actually have, I asked you what you would like to see more of, and one of the things that we we were asked for was things like bloopers and that kind of thing. I wouldn't quite necessarily quantify that one as a blooper, but I did think it was worth bringing to your attention. Now, we've had more guesses. We've had more guesses on the Mystery Machine. I know that crane guy, Tristan Mays, has guessed that it's an R944 leap out. It isn't. It is not one of those. I know Gary Muirhead had a swing and a miss with Liebherr R934 electronic. You have no idea just how close you are, but it is not one of those. Has anybody else guessed? No, they haven't. So let me give you a little bit more. That's what you've got to work with so far. Now you've got that. And I tell you what, as you're getting so close, I'll even give you that bit as well. I need to know. We already know the make. We already know that we're looking at a Liebherr. We need to know what type, what model number. If you've got any ideas on that, please let me know. Jim Turner, who is determined to have this guy shot, apparently, says it's cheaper to pay for a cab valet and a pane of glass than new tires. Can you imagine somebody with a gun standing by the side of the road doing the calculation? Well, I could shoot out the tires, but that would be quite expensive. Let him have it. Let him have it. Good to say good morning to Big Heavy Monster. Fantastic name. Over on Instagram, also going to say good morning to Burke Demolition, the team down at Burke Demolition. Fantastic to see you. And Sam Hawk 654 is smiling to himself as we speak. Tristan Mays is desperate to win today's competition of the Mystery Machine, which looks like that. He hasn't won it yet. He's close. And where are we? Gary Muirhead has just gone with an R936 compact electronic. Close, but no cigar. Chris Ford says all they'd need to do is drop a piece of sharp concrete on the road, and you could guarantee they'd run over it and fuck a tire. I think that only happens when you don't want it to. If you wanted to stop a runaway wheel loader, chances are it just cruise over that with no problem at all. So keep the guesses coming in on our Mystery Machine. While you're doing that, should we? Wow, we've got something really pretty damn sexy to show you in a second, so let's have a bit of this.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
I can't predict the future. If I could, I would be broadcasting this from a luxury villa in Barbados that I bought with my lottery winnings while counting my pool's winnings. You get the idea. However, even though I possess no such foresight, I reckon the machine I'm about to show you might just prove to be the star of next month's Intermat exhibition. So stand by your beds, people, because Bobcat has gone rogue again. Can we just take a moment to admire not just the machine, but the quality of the film used to preview it? That's an automotive style video that Bugatti would be absolutely proud of. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I've already assigned that to our list of the hottest machines of the year. If you disagree, you need to vote not in the chat. Otherwise, if you're with me and think that is an incredibly hot-looking machine, I need you to vote hot. Hot or not, you decide. The Bobcat Rogue 2 needs you to know hot or not. Just so you know, if anyone votes not, you better have a very good explanation. Ashley, KNZ.exe, says a 938 excavator. It is not. It is not. What have we got? We've got Gary Muirhead has gone with the R936 compact electronic. You're all so close. So close, but you're not quite there. I'm looking for one specific model. If anyone's got any thoughts on that, please let me know. Speaking of the Mystery Machine, can I give you a bit more? I don't know if I can give you a bit more without giving it away. Apparently I can. I don't think that helps at all. But Gary Muirhead has just said that he believes the Rogue 2 to be hot as well. So I think that is definitely going forward to our grand final at the end of the year. Keep those guesses coming in on our Mystery Machine. While you're doing that, let me do this. I think you'll agree, ours is a loud industry. It's filled with loud machines, loud processes, and more than a few loud people. Present company accepted. So just for a moment, we're going to enjoy the sound of silence with Case.
Silence. It is more than just quiet. It has no rhythm. No groove. It is the absence of life, of progress, of work being done. But here, at the break of dawn, our story of noise and life begins. Here, in this country, sound is not just heard, it is felt. We are loud in the ways we greet, move, and work. The language of work is music to our souls. We're builders, creators, maintainers. We're the heartbeat of construction. Let us move and shake, build and break. Let's forge ahead with the roar of machines and the clang of metals. Let's fill the silence with the sound of success. Case, let's make some noise.
Yeah, let's make some noise indeed. I do apologise. Slightly disjointed right now because my computer screen just went weird. It's back now, thankfully. And I'm back firing on all cylinders. Let's have a look. Missed it, been on the phone. My UK built washing machine got a noisy sprocket bearing. Yeah, funny enough, our washing machine completely went berserk last night. Not working at all this morning. No idea what the cause is, but we've got one of those as well. Mick, you might need to tell us the rest of this story. In the early 1970s in Germany, a young sapper plant operator decided to pull off the road with his 16-ton wheeled Gainsborough wheel tractor and park up in a pub car park. After a few hours serious drinking, always good before you get in a 16-ton wheeled machine. After a few hours of serious drinking, he staggered out of the pub to find his Gainsborough completely surrounded by German civilian cars. Not to be outdone, he systematically started to doze individual cars out of the way. It took armed German police 20 minutes using tear gas to get the situation under control, and the sap. Mick, please tell us the end of that story. I need to know. Let's have a look. Mystery Machine. Chris Ford is going with the Liebherr R914 compact Litronic. It is not. Let me show it to you again. That's what you've got. Sam Hawkes, you just made my morning. You know, I just mentioned the fact that our washing machine has gone wrong. Sam Hawkes over on Instagram has just said, buy us some chocolate and flowers. The washing machine will start working. I don't even care that she's going to punch me when I leave the office. That is fantastic. Sam Hawkes, you're an absolute star. Well done, mate. That is a bit of a video, says Ken Hatchett. Yes, the case video was very, very good indeed. Footy says, I wasn't, as they say, not sure what that's all about. And the sapper got locked up. He faced court martial and got 112 days detention. Rightly so as well. We've got something else coming up in a moment. Still haven't got a right answer on our mystery machine, so please keep the guesses coming in. Sam Hawkes, you're going to keep me chuckling for the rest of the show. While you're doing that, I need to do a bit of this.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
Instagram's on fire form this morning. Tristan Mays has just responded to Sam Hawke saying, "Oh dear, Sam, that's going to get the hashtag women in construction raging." Yes, I can feel me being cancelled as we speak. As I said earlier, bothered. Now, I don't know if this is still the case, but some record companies and some bands used to do special editions of both albums and singles. Somewhere in this world, in this office, I think, I've got an Ultravox album on white vinyl. Very sexy it is too. Never actually played it. I've got it on black vinyl as well, which is the one I play, but the white vinyl is pristine. I've also got an Elvis single on purple vinyl that was released just after his death back in 1977. And I've always thought that equipment manufacturers could and should do the same, which is why I was delighted to be sent the video that I'm about to play you. Now, I do need to say good morning to Andy here, who's just joined us over on Instagram. Good morning to Northern Track. I was just talking about purple singles, purple attachments. We don't just throw this together, you know. Now, I do need to dredge this one off of my hard drive because it's another big file. I think it is around about here. And it is called, it's called for good reason, Midnight.
This unit in particular is a New Holland C330 Midnight Edition that you can only get at Cornerstone Equipment. You get factory black paint, a tinted cab, and you get these custom Midnight Edition decals that really goes with the paint on this machine.
Now, if you want even more of a custom look, we have done this in the past, and we can get you a whole set of custom decals, put your logo on the machine, and put whatever color that tailors to your business the best.
So to do a little dive in on this machine, New Holland Construction built this machine to compete with units like the Kubota SVL 65 and the Bobcat T67. But when you really look at them spec for spec, this machine blows them out of the water. This unit's powered by a 67 horsepower Perkins engine. It'll lift 3,000 pounds, a little over 10 foot, and it comes in right around 8,400 pounds. Another big thing about this machine is it has iconic super boom technology that only New Holland offers. The C330 also has a self-leveling loader feature, which makes it nice when you're loading trucks or lifting a load that you need to keep level.
For those who don't know what the New Holland Super Boom is, this is kind of the premise of it. So instead of having two big towers back here where you see the red arrow, you have two center points here and here. What this allows the machine to do is be able to lift higher and lift more, as well as give the machine more down pressure. So instead of lifting just straight up vertical, what it does at the end of the lift is kind of pushes out away from the machine. So if you were, for example, dumping into a dump truck, you can dump into the center of it instead of right on the edge. And as far as down pressure goes, this machine is going to be great for the demolition guys that are using concrete breakers or any agriculture use using a post hole driver or digger, as well as contractors and landscapers.
We're in the cab of the New Holland C330. The first thing you notice is how insane the visibility is around this machine. You almost have a 360-degree view around it, and you top it with the backup camera. Safety is unmatched. Visibility is unmatched. And as far as comfort goes, I'm 6'2", 235. I might be lying about a couple pounds, but I'm very comfortable. When you top it with this air ride suspension seat that has the heat option on it too when it's cold for those who push snow or work in the cold very often. This cab is very roomy and it is very comfortable. I'm going to go in on the controls and how the cab is laid out, and then we'll talk a little bit about the display. It's like other 300 series New Holland machines. All of your controls are going to be right in front of you. All the way down from the L320 all the way up to the C362, these cabs are almost identical. You have your hydraulic coupler release, your 2-speed indicator, you have hazard lights, you have a beacon light that you'd have to add on top of the cab. You could also get a light bar option that plugs into this switch. you have your self-level controls, and then your windshield wiper and HVAC controls. On this side, you have your lights down here at the bottom, your throttle. You also have a foot throttle as well. Your push-to-operate button to unlock the machine and go live. And then you have turn signals, and then your key switch. As far as the screen goes, it's the same 8-inch LCD screen that's in other New Holland machines. You have your Easy EH settings. If you don't know what that is really to adjust the sensitivity of your machines. This is an EH control machine, electric over hydraulic, so you can control your sensitivity settings. And you also, when you go over here, you have a custom option too. So if you like your bucket to tilt faster than your arm movement going up, you can customize that. You have your creep mode, your auto throttle, your ride control. The ride control is very nice when, let's say you're a landscaper and you're carrying a load of blocks and they're very heavy and you hit some bumps, your machine's arms are going to kind of float with those jolts and not really take it on the operator. Your backup camera, which I always like it always on, you can customize that too and hit that. It'll have some general information, and then you can get into where your settings menu is, and it'll tell you pretty much your trip hours, fuel usage. This screen is very intuitive. I could talk about this screen for a long time, but I'll make a separate video going over this screen. You can put a passcode in this machine and you can give your operators passcodes in this machine too if you want to limit what they can do in the machine. But like I said, I'll cover that in another video. And I also didn't mention you can change between your ISO and your H pattern as far as your controls go. To do a quick recap on the C330, it'll lift 3,000 pounds, a little over 10 foot high. It has a 67 horsepower Perkins engine. It has New Holland's iconic Super Boom technology. Feature-wise, you have an HVAC cab. You have a heated air ride seat, an 8-inch LCD screen with a backup camera. You have a hydraulic disconnect, and you have a self-level unloader. The biggest thing on this machine is the price tag. How much is this going to cost me? The C330 is going to cost under $70,000. Even this custom black Midnight Edition unit is going to cost under $70,000. So with that price tag being said, you have to ask yourself, is this the right machine for me? Well, if you're trying to move a mountainside, probably not. But this machine was designed for your landscapers, your farmers, your small contractors. Even if you're trying to build a house, this machine would be perfect for you. New Holland Construction designed it to be quick, nimble, easy to trailer, and being able to fit into tight places. So if you fit in one of those categories, this machine's probably the fit for you.
Pretty smart, right? Yeah, the midnight hour. As Michael Jackson once sang. I don't know why I'm feeling all musical today. The midnight hour is close at hand. I think that's great value. If I was an owner-operator, I think I'd be willing to pay the premium just to get the custom paint job. Stand out for the crowd. Would you like the custom paint job? I'd love to hear from you. We do have another drunken sapper story. I am going to say very quickly. Sam Hawke apparently he is now working in quarries. Used to be in demolition. Why did you change? I'd love to hear from you. Another drunken sapper story. In Osnabrück in 1986, a young sapper had been jilted by his German girlfriend, and he got into the garage complex, got himself into a tracked personnel carrier with a bottle of brandy, and smashed his way out of the barracks, headed for his ex-girlfriend's house, proceeded to demolish the gable end. I had the pleasure of phoning my CO in the Falklands to tell him the drunken sapper's escapade was on the front page of the Sun. Brilliant. Andy Hare, not surprisingly, just seen the midnight edition of that fantastic New Holland machine. He says, "I'll take one in purple, please." No great surprise there, and purple is obviously the right choice. Now, I must admit, we do have two films for you in our Intermat section today, so I might not get away with it, but it stands at the moment. We do not yet have a winner in our mystery machine, and there is just one more slide, I think, that I can show you. I hope this doesn't give the game away. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. That's all I can show you. Lots of people have been very close. They've been sort of a model or two out, but I'm looking for the specific name and nomenclature of that machine. If anybody's got any guesses, I'd love to hear from you because you're running out of time. I'm going to take that off the screen and I'm going to press this. as I say, we've got a couple of Intermat previews for you today. A good one and a not so good one. Now, I need to do a bit of a balancing act here. I'm about to show you something vaguely amusing, but I do want to get a bit serious very quickly. Sam Hawk over on Instagram said the main reason I changed from demolition to quarrying was I was a demolition supervisor, ended up bringing a lot of work stress home and not sleeping because I was so stressed. Taking it out on the family wasn't fair. I made the change and now I have so much time with the family. So happy days. Well, good. Bad that we've lost somebody to stress. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. That should not be the case. You should never have been under that much stress. But I'm very, very glad to hear you're happy now, Sam. And congratulations to you. Now, I did say I was going to show you 2 Intermat films today, and I meant it. The second one, obviously, is all high tech and exciting. The first one, however, features a pillock. Here he is. Hi, I'm Mark Anthony, representative of Diggers and Dozers. We're an online platform dedicated to the construction and demolition industry. Obviously, I'm looking forward to Intermat 2024. I was at Intermat 2018. It was a fantastic show and it felt like a really international show. I'm hoping that the Intermat organisers can maintain that level of international embracing. I think one of the things that I'm excited about with Intermat is the timing. We're at the cusp of a major change in the industry with digitalisation, with different fuels, electric, hydrogen, biofuel, HVO. It's a really, really exciting time, and I'm very refreshed to see that Intermat is planning to showcase a lot of that with their various work areas, and obviously the exhibitors themselves. So Intermat 2024. There are 2 things I'm looking forward to: seeing all the new products and the changes, but also getting a feel for the industry. If the aisles of the show are very, very full and very, very busy and lots of business going on, I think the entire industry will walk away from Paris feeling better about itself and more excited for the future. What a knob. Wow. I'll get back to Intermat in just a moment. I can tell you that you've got, I can tell you that our final film of the day it's only 39 seconds. So unless somebody comes up with the right answer on our mystery machine, then I shall emerge victorious. What do you mean, a pillock? You did a pretty good job there. Good Lord. Chris Ford, Mystery Machine R918 Litronic. It is not. We're kind of both sides of the right answer, but we've not got the right answer. You've got 39 seconds in just a moment. Obviously, I'm going to be probably the least interesting thing at the whole of the Intermat show, but there will be lots of new stuff, particularly in the field of technology. And here is just one of the companies that will be leading the techno charge. I win again. I have defeated the great and the good of the Breakfast Show. Chris Ford went with an R918 Litronic. Dan Cullen went with a Liebherr R936. It's neither of those things. It is, in fact, one of those. It's an R924 Litronic. 924. We had 936s and 938s and 918s and all manner of other stuff. And somebody even guessed a 225 over on Sam Hawk guessed 225 over on Instagram. Dan Cullen went with I love the spelling, the Liebherr R922. It is not, it is an R924. So chalk up another one to the man in the silly hat. Yes, I think I may have 2 victories this week, don't I? I mean, I don't actually keep count, but it feels like I've had 2 victories this week. Are you losing your touch, people? Are you losing the touch? I don't know. Maybe I'm just making it harder because I so enjoy winning. That just about wraps things up for the main part of this morning show. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Hope to see you all again very, very soon. But if you do have the time and the inclination, I would be very grateful if you would stick around, because I will be back after this with the Craic. Good morning, one and all. Good morning. Hope you're all fit and well. Sam Hawks just said, fix the washing machine. Listen, nobody wants to turn me loose with a set of spanners. I could actually flood Epsom if somebody gave me a spanner. So no, a phone call will be made. And no, I will not be offering her chocolate and flowers. I may actually throw my hat out the door first when I leave here this morning. Glenn Johnson was first off the mark this morning. Good morning, Glenn. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Thank you very much indeed for being so hot off the mark. You arrived basically as I did. Thank you very much indeed for that. And there is Gary Muirhead. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everybody. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Yes. You go all the way to Paris as a very special guest, a VIP guest. And you agree to be on camera for the organisers of a major exhibition. And what do? They spell your name wrong. Yes, Mark Anthony. The bizarre thing is, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. They gave me a badge while I was there. And it looked like that. Can you see that? Quite clearly got a K in it. Don't know what happened between that and the video. And bearing in mind, I was wearing the badge. If somebody had just zoomed in, they could have seen the correct spelling. But yeah, my apologies for the loss of sound at the beginning. What are you going to do? Strange days indeed. Yeah, I wrote an article last night, feeling all inspired I was, and bored. Feeling all inspired, and I wrote about the apparent crumbling of construction industry trade associations. It's a weird one, and I realise that 3 or 4 together do not make a global trend, although there is one that I didn't mention because I'm allowing him time, basically. But, you know, we used to have Neil Edwards on here regularly as part of the Builders Conference. Neil has left. Neil has actually left by mutual consent. He's left the Builders Conference and is no longer there. So it's not 4, it's 5. So we've lost CEO of the Builders Conference, CEO of the CPA, CEO of the CEA. They are replacing the CEO of the Lighthouse Club, and they have replaced the CEO of the NFDC. But all of that in the space of December, January, February, March. All of that in 4 months. Why is that? Is it a coincidence? One of my concerns with it, and I remember thinking this when the CPA appointed their last CEO. I mean, Rob Oliver was always going to be a tough act to follow, but the lady that took over the job basically had no, and I'm not blaming her for this, you know, she was appointed and, you know, was clearly a very good and very competent applicant, but clearly had no affinity with the construction industry whatsoever. And I think the construction industry can spot that a mile off. You know, it can recognise its fakes. Good morning, Worthing, by the way, just while I think of it. It can recognise its fakes. And I wonder if that's part of the problem. But I also I wonder if there's a bigger issue here. If you're working in business, which, you know, we all are to varying degrees, as a direct result of COVID, we spent a lot of time doing Zoom calls and Microsoft Teams meetings and all of the other types of, you know, Google Hangouts and all those kind of things. And there we have these trade organisations, come along to this fancy schmancy hotel or to this exhibition centre where we're going to host a seminar. So you've got to give up an entire day to go and listen to some people talking. You could do that from the comfort of your own office. I think that's part of it. I also think that some of them deliver less. Look at the CEA. The CEA's, the bit of the CEA that is responsible for generating reports on construction equipment sales. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And if you're in the business of needing to know construction equipment sales, they are one of the two very best in the industry. And I'll come back to the other one in just a second. But all of the other stuff, the seminars and the power hour meetings and all that, really worthwhile. And I did say I was going to come back. Obviously we've got the CA, but there's a company called the Off-Highway, or they're called Off-Highway Research. And for as long as I've been a journalist, basically, I've relied upon them for market statistics and that kind of thing. And it's not now because I think he's retired, but it used to be run by a guy called David Phillips. David Phillips, just thinking, I would say probably the most erudite, I think that's the word, yet very well spoken, erudite, really, really knows his onions when it comes to construction equipment and the sales thereof, produces some of the most incredible reports on all of that, or have done over the years. Well, it turns out that David Phillips actually listens to this show. He complained when I was away. He complained when I was away because I'd ruined his morning, apparently. I'm sure we've all got an example, but David Phillips listening to me is a bit like a young musician getting a phone call to say, "Hi, this is Elvis. I like your music." Listen, I get the occasional pat on the back, but David Phillips tuning into this show, really quite proud of that. Lou Carnish just joined us over on Instagram. Good morning, Luke. Thank you very much indeed for being here. So yes, if you want to read about my thoughts on all things related to trade associations, you could do so. Strange days indeed. I've stole the name from John Lennon and I don't feel bad about it at all. Mick Norton said, good morning. Our question of the day was, describe yourself in just 3 words. Just 3 words. I think I went for bearded, balding and bothered. Need to get some from you. There's Jim Turner, just turned up as well. Good morning to Mr. Turner. And his guess was wrong, but he went with one from TX. Mark Whiting's in the house as well. Wolfwelder got straight into the spirit of things. He's answered. Describe yourself in 3 words. Weld, eat, sleep. Yeah. I could have gone broadcast, eat, sleep. Or eat, broadcast, sleep. Or eat, broadcast, eat again. I don't know, one of those. Footy went with a big person who's got rather large feet. That's more than 3 words. Jim Turner, however, did clearly get the memo. Fat beardy bastard. Well, aren't we all? Aren't we all? And obviously we did celebrate the fact that Afro Footy has got himself a nice new job. Gary Muirhead on the question of trade associations. I don't believe or trust a trade association. Remember years ago there was one called the Guild of Master Craftsmen. All you had to do was send your money for your membership fee and received stickers, no vetting or checks, and those still exist. There are trade associations. You just send them your money, and they basically send you a membership pack, and you are in. Quite what you get in terms of value, apart from some stickers and possibly a T-shirt, I've no idea. And therein lies another thing. I think the modern business person is looking for value on pretty much everything they do. I think they spend so much of their time seeking value in their actual business that they do that elsewhere as well. And there was a time, and I'm going to use the NFDC as an example purely because I know them best. There was a time when the NFDC would lobby Parliament. They had some pet MPs that they could shake and abuse from time to time to get their way in the Houses of Parliament. They used to, fight fire with the HSE and the Environment Agency. They used to produce guidance notes and things like that. They really were very, very, very active. They no longer have the pet MPs. They are largely mute whenever anything threatens their industry, be it red diesel, embodied carbon. They've done nothing on either of those. Their guidance notes are tucked behind a paid firewall, so they're not helping the industry, they're just helping a select few, and all they do is organise some events. Setting aside the fact that they've switched CEOs and there is a new one in place, but setting that aside, the membership of the NFTC is at its lowest ebb in its 80-plus year history. There's a reason for that, because people aren't getting the value out of it. It really is as simple as that. Some of the early doors guesses on our mystery machine were, is it a rubber duck or a track machine? Not sure what yet. No, well, it was a track machine, as it turns out. 6-ton JCB, Jim Turner said. No, it's not. And there is fair play footy, says Jim Turner, for getting a new job. Our friend Wolfolder, like playing Jeopardy, but with pictures. We don't have Jeopardy over here. I'm familiar with it, but we don't have Jeopardy over here. Ken Hatcher, did anybody else get the snow yesterday? I say anybody else, I didn't get any snow. I was sat there last night, minding my own business, and my wife said they have got snow in, I think it was Plymouth. I think Plymouth had some snow, and then I started to see on Twitter people up and down the UK, up north, way down in the southwest, with snow. Did anybody see any? Past us by, we had a lot of rain, we had a lot of wind, but no snow. But anybody else? Footy says, Tuesday, I've got to be up at 4:30, leave here by 5 o'clock in the morning. Got to be done, though, my friend. Got to be done. Another guess on our mystery machine, which turned out to be wrong as well. And there is Jim Turner saying good morning to his fellow Nottinghamshire lad, who was Jay Walters over on Instagram. Joe Brown Construction, LLC, just joined us over on Instagram. Good morning to you, gentlemen. And possibly ladies. I don't know, but good morning. Jim Turner. Jim Turner woke up this morning and chose violence. Man runs amok in a wheel loader. Jim Turner has no intention of talking him down. He's going to put a bullet between his eyes. Just like the guy who went on a rampage with a dozer in Amy. It is. Jim Turner, just to be absolutely clear, if just shooting wasn't enough, drop him where he sits, he says. Wow. Chris Ford. I've always thought of Chris being very, very woke. Not really. He says, good morning, boys and girls. No sex discrimination here. No, none whatsoever. There is a lady present. Lou Carney is definitely present. There was another one that went through Instagram as well. So watch your P's and Q's, fellas. Mick Norton going for describing himself in 3 words. He has gone with, when I can get it to play, curious, empathetic, inquisitive. Curious and inquisitive, surely the same thing to a degree. Now, I think we have a first here. There is somebody watching, and I don't know whether they're male or female, so my apologies for that, but somebody called Aria Barley 168 is watching this show from Bali. You have paradise outside your window, and instead of looking at that, you're looking at this. Thank you, and are you mad? What? I say that, it could be the middle of the night in Bali for all I know, but welcome from Bali. You are our first viewer from Bali, as far as I'm aware. We seem to get lots of Australians, lots of New Zealanders, lots from Brazil, which I've never fully understood. But yeah, you are quite possibly our first from Bali, so welcome. Jim Turner, explaining his decision to put a bullet between a man's eyes, says, cheaper to pay for a cab valet and a pane of glass than new tyres. I just love the fact that he's done the maths. I've got a fully loaded Glock here. Now let me do the maths quickly. Yeah. Cab valet, pane of glass, not that expensive. Yeah, have that, my friend, have that. I actually posted a very quick GIF of, for completely different reasons, I posted a quick GIF from John Wick 4 on my LinkedIn today. If anybody's seen John Wick, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. He's laying on the ground and he just says the word consequences and then puts a bullet between somebody's eyes. I'm a fan of that, I have to say. Another wrong guess. And another as well. Chris Ford, question of the day. Fat, over 60 with a sense of humour most days. That's way more than 3 words. Way more. Gary Muirhead is with me on the Bobcat Road 2. I don't want to be led by fancy schmancy videos, but man alive, that's a good video. And as I say, I mean, I've seen the Road 2 up close and personal. It really is something special. If journalists, even those that only claim to be those, if you go to Intermat and you don't come back writing about the Road 2, hand back your NUJ badge. Even those of you that have never qualified for one, you're not a journalist. The Road 2 is going to be one of the stars of the show, mark my words. Ken Hatcher is, like me, suffering from washing machine issues. More guesses. Now, Gary, I want to be clear here. I realise that you're trying to portray one image, but I think we all know you better than this. Now, I have to say, and I promise you he's not paying me to say this. As far as I'm concerned, Gary Muirhead is one of the nicest, kindest, and most generous people I've come across. Certainly as part of this show, but in my life, just an absolute smashing guy. Not just to me, but to others as well. Just an absolute smashing guy. So, describe yourself in 3 words, Gary Muirhead. We're not buying that, Gary. I know you're a big lad, and I know you're a Scot, and I know you're a Glaswegian, but you're not my worst nightmare. You're an absolute dream to have about the place. Is this part of your hard man facade, when in actual fact you're a big old teddy bear? Is that what it is? I think it might be. That is a bit of a video. Yeah, Case did a fantastic job. Obviously, that was filmed in South Africa, but yeah, they did a fantastic job. I do quite like that idea. In actual fact, I mean, that's one of the things that I quite enjoyed doing myself. You know, we did that film earlier this week of me talking about the elephant graveyard of excavators and wheel loaders and dozers and stuff like that. I do quite like the idea of doing, obviously, that my film was very much related to the construction industry, but it's kind of a bit more vague, a bit more creative. And that one with Case, you know, they could have just said, you know, we've got after sales support in South Africa. They didn't. They went with something a bit more creative. As a result, I'll remember that film way longer than I would from a corporate statement on on their parts backup. We have Drunken Sapper Stories. Let's have a look. Dan Cullen did arrive in the end. Is this a real thing? The Mystery Machine is a Komatsu 69420 250th anniversary edition. If that exists, it passed me by. Now, we did say it was Sam Hawkes who has quit Demolition because of stress, which I 100% support, and he's joined the quarry industry. Ain't that weird? I feel the same. I'm loving the quarrying. Now, is that because quarrying, by and large, you're in the middle of nowhere and you're left to your own devices? You're told what to do, and you have rules and regulations and safety instructions to follow, but you're largely left alone. And you know, bearing in mind, we talk here regularly about mental health and stress and that kind of thing, but also about a skill shortage. If somebody is watching this, you know, if you are working in demolition or mainline construction, groundworking or whatever it might be, and you are stressed, apparently quarry, not so bad. Tristan Mays says, did I miss the big reveal of the digger? You did, and you didn't get it right. Unforgivable as a Liebherr fan, in my opinion. I can tell you, because it is still here. It is, or it was, should I say, the Liebherr R924 Litronic. You were close, Tristan, but it just goes to show, you might be good on cranes, but you know squat about plant. Which is fair, because I know squat about cranes. It seems absolutely fair. Let's have a look. Who else do we have here? Footy being all very kind. What do you mean, Pillock? I thought you did a pretty good job there. Yeah. It was all right. In absolute truth, and I'm not making excuses, because frankly, I can plan these shows and I still screw up these. But that was literally a case of you stood there doing your job, interviewing people and getting videos, and a guy came up and just handed me a microphone and said, would you be on camera? Yeah, if you like. That's what we got. I like. Can I just stop the show for a moment? Because I really, really like this kind of thing. Well, I think we need more of this. Jim Turner says, although I don't actually know him, can I say a big thanks to Mick Norton for being a sound fella? Yeah, you can. You absolutely can. Mick Norton, you're a sound fella. Jim Turner knows about these things. He believes you to be a sound fella, and I 100% agree with him. Mick Norton says many CEOs will depart at a time when their pension threshold is at its most advantageous for the individual. I fully agree with that, but I just wonder if three would necessarily coincide. Seems unlikely. Lou Carney is here now. Where is she? She's on Facebook now, and she says, "Bloody hell, missed the chat about CA. Anything I can help with? Are you with?" Not really, Lou. I mean, I have written an article today that basically talks about the fact that obviously Lou works for the CEO, works very closely with the CEA. CEA has lost its CEO. The CPA, Construction Plant Hire Association, has lost its CEO, and on the 31st of this month, the Lighthouse Club will lose its CEO. That also follows on from the fact that Neil Edwards has left the Builders Conference by mutual agreement. He was their CEO. Howard Button left the NFDC as CEO in December last year. He has been replaced, but five construction industry organisations have lost their CEO in the space of 4 months. That's what the chat was about. Lou, I tell you what, I can make life even easier because I do have it here. I do have the power and the capability. I've just posted in the chat a link to my article, which is called Strange Days Indeed. Does anybody remember the song? The song is actually called Nobody Told Me by John Lennon. I recap it all in the article. But yeah, nobody told me there'd be days like these. Strange days indeed, he sings, and that's what I borrowed. Footy has gone with long-haired hippie as his 3 words to describe himself. That's more like it. Who we got here? Mick Norton, who, as we all now know, is a sound fella. Over the years, I've worked with the Contractors Plant Hire Association, CPA, on codes of practice guidance for machine operators, and found their organisation second to none. You've worked more closely with them than I have. I've always found them a bit old-fashioned, bit old boys club. Speak as you find. That's I get stuff from them from time to time, and by and large, I look at it and think, yeah. Dan Cullen, who I don't know whether he was in Watford or Warwickshire, all the W's, but he did get some sleep. Footy says, yeah, it snowed on the moors last night, had a very large hailstones for most of the morning yesterday as well. Wow. Footy, if you do need an alarm call, Dan's your man. I mean, literally, Dan is your man, because he's up at Lord alone knows what time. And there you are. See, it's not just me. Love David Phillips, such a wonderful man, so charming. Yeah. You know how some people are posh, and they're so posh you want to punch them in the face? Yeah, you know those people? But there are some people that are posh, and you think, kind of like that. People like Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant, national treasure. Stephen Fry, very well spoken, national treasure. Richard E. Grant, national treasure. David Phillips, posh as a posh thing, national treasure. Absolutely charming fella. Dan Cullen. Now, I do love a really artistic misspelling. Question of the day: crazy, lovable, and because he's doing this on the road and on the move, not rogue, he's gone with rouge. So apparently Dan Cullen is crazy, lovable, and bright red. Don't think that's what he was going for. Gary is a lovely man. Great chat. Yes, he most certainly is. Lou Carney, unpredictable, contrary, opinionated. Yeah. Listen, I'm not in the job of writing other people's 3-word descriptions, but if I was given the job of doing Lou's, that would be pretty close. Let's have a look. I love it. No bullying, no bullshit, no stress. And there are a few ladies here too. No, if your face doesn't fit thing. Yeah. So quarrying is the place to be, apparently. Who knew? Everyone asked, how was your first week? First time I've ever been asked this. Surely that's what you do, isn't it? That's just common politeness. Dan Cullen also says, morning to the wonderful Lou Carney, another fabulous person in the industry and amazing. Yeah. Glad to call her a mate, to be honest. No, I think that pretty much covers everything, unless anybody would like to throw anything in at the last moment. That's just an hour and 7 minutes. It's kind of a short show today. I am going to be back. I know it's Thursday today, and I realise that tomorrow is Good Friday, and I'm not expecting to see Ken Hatcher here tomorrow, because I think Ken has got both Friday and Monday off, but I'll be here. I was going to say by popular demand. I think 2 people said that they would be here, so I decided to do a show. Hopefully tomorrow won't go on too long, because I am planning to do a bit of family time. Lou Carnish has said, love you, Dan Cullen. You're amazing too. It's like the Mutual Appreciation Society around here, isn't it? You're all lovely. Now it's your turn to tell me how lovely I am. You don't have to. I am already the walrus of demolition, apparently, so frankly, my work here is done. So yes, I will be back here tomorrow for more of the same, but I will not be here on Monday, because I'm going to take the day off and I'm going to go and spend some time with my washing machine. Sorry, Ruth. Lexors, LAB says, great you are. Thanks for that. Thank you. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are, but they've just said I'm great, and I'm... Listen, I don't get that many compliments. When I do get them, I kind of hold them dear to my heart. So thank you very much indeed for that. Everybody. Dan Cullen says, I'm making a road and I'll be here tomorrow. Good. Thanks, Lou. Have a great day. Yes, everybody have a great day, would you? And the person just told me that I'm great. Nigeria. Yes. Never mind those that are watching from Worthing and Hemel Hempstead. There are certain people watching from Bali and from Nigeria. Yes, that's when you know you've arrived, when you have an audience in Nigeria and Bali. Never been to either of them. Maybe one day. Everybody, go and have a fantastic day. Thoroughly enjoyed your input today. Keep the comments coming in. I know somebody has sent me a comment on the Strange Days Indeed article, what I wrote, but if you've got any more on that, please keep it coming. Always like to see it. If you can't find it over on our Demolition Insider website, just go over to LinkedIn. You can find it there instead. Everybody, go and have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow for Good Friday. Bring your chocolate eggs. Better still, send me a chocolate egg. No, don't do that. I'm diabetic. My wife would remind me if I didn't tell you. So don't send me chocolate eggs, but bring your chocolate eggs along tomorrow, and we'll have an egg off, an earth off. I don't know what I'm talking about now. Everybody, fantastic day. See you tomorrow. All the best.